Hello, welcome to the Ladybug Project. My name is Kara Adams, and I'm the author of the Little Yogi series and a book also called 30 Thoughts from a Christian Yogi. And Alyssa Vine Hodge, next to me, is the author of The Sense About Madness. And we are the founders of the Ladybug Project, which you are watching right now. And the Ladybug Project is focusing on the small and silent, those that have been traumatized from child molestation. Today, our topic is depression. Alyssa, what are your thoughts on depression?
Well, I'm sure depression is different for everyone, and there are probably different catalysts for depression as far as chemical imbalances or life circumstances. But I suffer from depression, and so the way that I've thought about it for me is like at times when I'm really depressed, I feel like I've been sucked down at the bottom of the ocean, and sometimes I can see the sunlight like way up there. And so sometimes it gets really hard when you're in that deep of a depression. I just think of it as in my relationship to the light, like how far away am I from feeling the light and feeling happy and healthy. Sometimes I just feel very, very far away from that. Fortunately, right now, I actually feel that I'm on the shore and I'm near the light, and all the things that drew me down into depression are there. I can see them in that ocean. I know the trauma that's there. I know all the things in the world that weigh me down when I think about all the horror that takes place on earth. If I think about it too much, I feel myself being pulled back into that ocean of depression. So it's taken a lot of work and a lot of help from other people and a lot of love and self-will to reach towards help and reach towards love and let myself be pulled back towards the light. I was reading a devotion that someone had shared with me recently about being cautious about considering yourself a person who's too deep for other people and too deep to enjoy shallow things in life. And that devotion really spoke to me because I am a person who can get bogged down by what I consider deep things and important things, like everything I mentioned, all the atrocity that goes on this planet. So I've learned over time that things I used to consider shallow, like spending time on my physical appearance or just watching a useless, pointless show on TV or something, those things actually help heal you and help connect you to other people, and they have value. And that has been helpful to me in dealing with depression. Now I know that I have to saturate myself with those types of things, like comedy every day, make myself laugh, or just, the simple things in life. So I think last week we talked about beauty and I didn't feel very beautiful. So today I put on a necklace and we're talking about depression. But anyways, just things like that, the simple things really do matter. Kara, what's your experience with depression? Do you feel that anything I just said relates to your experience at all, or?
Yeah, I think for me, it was, sometimes you hear people talk about seasonal depression and circumstantial depression, like Alyssa said, and there's a difference with the chemical depression, like because when your body is chemically imbalanced, your hormones are off or what's going on, it feels as if it's uncontrollable, and I'm sure it is. And there's like medication for that. For me, when my father passed away, I started feeling depressed, and I was given medication, and it really honestly, it didn't do anything for me. And so I tried that for that short time span in 2009 when my father did pass away. And I learned for me that it was, like Alyssa said, doing like little things. Because when I don't know if anybody else experiences this, when they're depressed, they like, you don't want to do anything else. You just want to like basically lay in bed all day. You don't want to watch TV. You just don't want to do anything. So I think for me, it's been life circumstances and like, is that your dog?
Yeah, sorry everyone. He's drinking a lot of water in the background right now.
Sounds like a dog drinking water. So I think for depression, sometimes like a dog, we have to go drink our water. I mean, we literally we have to get out of bed. We have to go to the water. Like Alyssa is saying, like go to the sunshine. Sometimes for me, it's just a 5-second rule that Mel Robbins, she is the author of the 5-second rule. I think that's what it's called. I'm trying to look it up really quick, but it's a great book. And it basically is saying that don't press the snooze button on your alarm clock. When you hear your alarm, do a countdown, say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. And as hard as it is and as miserable as it is getting up in the morning, and you think the snooze is great, the snooze is way worse. When you get up and you get through it, you get through the motions, you're brushing your teeth, you're doing your thing, you find your rhythm. And with hitting the snooze button, you're just going to go back to sleep, and you're going to create more, you're going to be tired more. You're going to just want to stay and be lethargic and not want to do anything else. And you're going to just stay in bed. And so I think it's a beautiful thing. It looks like this. This is the book. It's called The 5-Second Rule. I recommend that, by Mel Robbins. And I think it was released this year. But you can apply that rule to anything. When you're scared to talk to somebody, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go up and talk to them. Hey, how's it going? You don't know what you're going to say. Be awkward. Who cares? Get over that moment, because that's going to progress you. And it's not going to condition you necessarily to be like, oh, I'm not depressed anymore. Oh, I'm not awkward anymore. I'm not scared anymore. No, it doesn't do any of that. It's just the fact that you can live your life. She talks about how she changed her thinking from when she was anxious about being on stage and speaking. She's a well-known speaker. She's being on stage. She's like nervous. She changed it. No, it's the same thing as excitement. So she changed it from being nervous and anxiety to she's excited. Like a kid that doesn't want to go to a sleepover and they're scared. They don't want to leave the house or whatever, and they're nervous or anxious. Change it to, oh, I'm excited, and just tell yourself, I'm excited about doing this. I'm excited about doing this. So because your body's doing the same motion of anxiety as it does as excitement. Like, oh, I'm excited to ride on this roller coaster. Whoa! Instead of, that's scared, and it's all the same thing. And we have to tell ourselves it's different. So, but like for depression, for me, is making sure that, like, when I start missing my kids, when I used to struggle more with finances, and I got to a point where I was homeless. Thank God for people that let me sleep on their couches, but I got to a point in my life where 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I had to get up. I had to keep going. And I didn't want to. And I'll say that it's not necessarily that it changes, because like even like with the holidays approaching, and I think those are sometimes hard times for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. When it's not as bright outside, when it's darker outside, when it's harder to do things. I think that's for a lot of people that hit seasonal depression or that circumstantial depression. Like they're not finding an end, or they're not finding a light to run to. And so you have to simplify it. And the simple things do make it easier. And you have to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to get up. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go eat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go exercise. Don't second guess yourself. Just go do it, because your body, when you do exercise, that does help. It helps releases endorphins, and your body can balance itself out. So I guess that's all. I don't know what else to say about it, is the fact that depression is real, and it's not something to just be like, oh, they're just depressed. But it's a decision within ourselves. It's a power that we allow ourselves to stay in, to remain in, or to make that 5-second rule and move on. And because when you start getting depressed, it's like nothing matters. You don't give a crap about anything else. You're just like, you could care less. You don't care what happens. That's why you just like do nothing. And eventually you could get to a place of, well, what am I even here for? I don't even need to be here. And it can get even worse. And you can start thinking the thoughts of taking your own life, which is intense and overwhelming. But so are the same thoughts of giving birth to a baby and giving birth to what you love in life, what makes you happy. And I kind of like take the Mel Robbins thing. It's the same thing. What excites you is the same thing that can depress you. Do you agree with that, Alyssa? Because like that overwhelming feeling is like when I published my first book, I was so excited. I was like, wow. And then I didn't sell any, and I was like, oh. You know what I mean? I was like, oh crap. What do I do with this? I wrote it. I mean, it felt great. It was amazing. And I was like, look, I finally did it. I accomplished something. But then it was like, oh, what do I do with it? And it's like, people say it's one extreme to the other, but honestly, it's like, it takes the same amount of energy to feel worthless as it does to feel worthy, and that you are worth. And it takes the same amount of energy to choose to lay in bed as it does to get up and go eat an apple and to take a step. So I guess that's my spin on it. And but I'm not lightening the situation at all. I'm not lightening it at all, because I know depression is real. I know how hard it is. And I hate that. I hate that I've had to struggle through it, that because of, I feel like the reality I've created in my life has been a challenge. And that's what I'm just saying. I'm not lightening the situation and saying some people have it easier than others. I'm just saying that we have this huge choice within us. It feels like a huge, heavy choice, but honestly, it can be a 5-second decision that can change your world. It can change everything you do in your life. So,
yeah.
All right. I think that was a good run. So I think next week what are we talking about next week, Alyssa?
I think you wanted to talk about more pathways to healing, kind of revisit that.
Yeah, healing. Well, we would love your feedback. Anybody that is watching, maybe you can throw some topics out there for us. We would love that, because I know we do want to approach a lot of things. Like, I think one week we do want to talk about predators and things like that. So, Alyssa, do you think a lot of people that have suffered from, that have experienced child molestation, do you think they do suffer from depression?
Yeah, and there's actually statistics about that, about the links between anxiety, depression, eating disorders, all kinds of crossover between trauma and depression.
Yeah. So don't feel like, if you have experience, if you are a survivor of child molestation, don't feel like because you suffer depression or other things that, I guess, what am I trying to say, Alyssa? Don't feel like you're alone, that you feel like there's no hope.
Or that you're not working hard enough at the healing process, because it's just an effect. It's just a reality that occurs from that. So you're still working at it. You're still doing amazing things, even if you suffer from depression. So.
And the beautiful part is, like, we have to discover our power, that we can change that. And that can be a really scary thing in itself, is knowing that you are powerful beyond measure. You're so powerful. And that can be scary. So we have to simplify things sometimes and enjoy the simple things: fixing the hair, watching a show, going to the bathroom. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Not hitting the snooze button. Those start to be the snowball effect of your conquering, of your power. It starts so small, a snowflake, and then it can roll into this really cool snowman, and it can be huge. So.
I love your metaphors. That was a good one. Right. So happy winter, everybody. If you're depressed, so are we, but we love you.
And make sure you make comments. Let us know you're watching, and any questions or what you're thinking. We would love it. Reach out to us. You can always send us messages. So have a great day.
All right, bye.